So the best value proposition German watch brand.
We're going to talk about it today. We're excited to bring a new brand for us here at Oliver Smith Jeweler, Glashütte Original.
Perfect pronunciation.
Thank you. I was going to say, George has actually gotten much better at it than me, so please ignore the American accents. But a fantastic German watch brand. Deep history we're going to get into, which is way more collaborative than other luxury brands. It's interesting to talk about. We're going to talk about the movements, what makes this watch so special. They really say with the brand that the front of the dial is only half the fun.
Absolutely.
Once you turn it over, that's really when the fun begins. And then we're going to talk about the collection so you can try to figure out which watch is perfect for you and why we think this is the best German watch brand for the price.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into this a little bit. The story of and the history of Glashütte Original is very much parallels to the story of Glashütte as a city, Germany as a country, the watchmaking of the industry there. It's very, very indicative of things that we identify as German watches.
Very true.
It's kind of fun for me, being in the industry as long as I have. I've worked with Glashütte Original before when I was with Tourneau. So most of my working knowledge is over a decade old.
Okay.
So to be reintroduced to the brand, I'm back in Germany again. I'm just north of Dresden. I'm in Glashütte, which is, for those of you who don't know, Glashütte is a small town in Germany. It was on the wrong side of the wall. They are known for their watchmaking. The town was pretty much settled for the watchmaking industry.
The story, they go back, the brand is 175 years old.
Correct.
So going back to the mid 1800s, this group of watchmakers from Switzerland actually relocated to the town. And I think they were encouraged by the government to bring some more jobs.
They were subsidized. Yep.
Yeah, some stuff happening there. But that's really where the brand started, but also German watchmaking.
Yeah.
And then it became so well known, the quality from Glashütte, that they were putting Glashütte Original on the dial, and other brands from around the world started to follow in the 1800s. So there were quite a few counterfeit issues. You'll actually, if it's funny to imagine way back when, but they'll talk about that. And you actually see now on the dial, they still do the Glashütte Original, but you'll see a little note for Saxony.
Correct.
That's how you know that.
Well, and that was the equivalent to having counterfeit watches now say Swiss. On them, their quality of what they were doing was so good. Others wanted to emulate it and pretend to be it, and then sell stuff for more money.
So then, after World War I, World War II, a lot of the brands in Glashütte kind of became smaller. There wasn't as much business, and sort of united in the 1950s into this one brand, which is Glashütte Original.
Correct.
Okay, and then fell on the wrong side of the Berlin Wall. So nothing happened until the 1990s, and then Swatch Group came in, purchased the brand, and here we are. But the story is really collaborative of the brand, and all the brands that are coming out of Germany. Glashütte Original owns and runs the watchmaking school in Glashütte. So these watchmakers are trained there, and then they go off to other brands. A. Lange & Söhne is a great one. They're actually next door. So it's way more working together, which I find really interesting. We don't see that.
It literally is the story of Glashütte as a town. You can have watchmakers from different manufacturers in the same household. To look at the obvious comparables, you look at the dial of the Glashütte Original, and it seems reminiscent of more expensive brands. So you'll see a similarity in the dials between like a Lange 1 and like a Panomatic Luminor. And people will say one's aping the other and vice versa. And there's several arguments either way. But the way I look at it, that's what a German watch looks like. You have this kind of asymmetric dial. Germany is kind of known aesthetically as to put form over function. Things are where they need to be to make the thing be the most efficient.
Sure.
If you look at German cars, if you look at German architecture, the brutalism, all of that's available right here. And I really appreciate that aesthetic.
That's a good segue to talking about the movement on these pieces and the hand craftsmanship, because that's really we know German watches for, but also GO is the brand.
Glashütte Original is a almost entirely in-house manufacturer. Something like 94 to 98% of their movements are made in-house. They're also one of those manufacturers who probably make some stuff for other companies as well. Guys who don't want to do it or don't want to take the time.
Tools as well.
Need a tool,
they really
make a tool.
A lot.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. The finishing on the movement is second to none, especially for a relatively high production watch company. How many do they do a year?
About 8,000.
Okay. So they're in that kind of mid-tier. They're not doing 40,000 watches a year like Patek or anything like that. So it's a smaller brand. It's going to be known for its 3/4 base plate. which is a very, very German thing.
Yes.
And then I'm going to call it Côtes de Glashütte.
Great.
The Glashütte stripes, as opposed to a Côtes de Genève. They're very, very proud of how they do their finishing on their movements. You'll find things that are very, very German, where the ruby jeweled bearings are held in a gold chaton with 3 blued screws to kind of hold it all together. It's all this just extra level of finishing. Does it need to be done? Absolutely not. Does it make a watch more beautiful, more functional? Absolutely.
So let's talk about the balance wheel too, because that was something that they became so well known for that actually on one of the models, and I think we have it here, they've brought it to the front of the dial.
Absolutely. So the story on this one, somewhere around 2008, a prolific collector of Glashütte original was at the factory. He's doing a factory tour and happened to find the watchmaker who made his specific watch. So that's always fun when you get a chance to do that. And the watchmaker, they had a great talk, and the watchmaker said, hey, what would you change? If there was anything you want to change about a watch, what would it be? And the guy said, I would love to be able to see the back from the front. It's so beautiful on both sides. The fact that I have to flip it over it does the watch a disservice. So they went, you know what, you're absolutely right. And they flipped the movement. They actually put the movement dial side, so you have the hand engraved barcode. This is a twin swan neck regulation. We can go into that if anybody wants to know more about that stuff. Put a comment below. I'm happy to go into that with you. But you have the Glashütte stripes, the Côtes de Glashütte on the dial. You have all the ruby jeweled bearings, and then the most astounding thing. I think I anecdotally told you the story. When we were setting up this case, I thought one of my guys had put the wrong tag on this watch. The price point was jaw-dropping to me. Having done this for a long time, I got a pretty good idea what things cost.
Yeah.
And this was revolutionary to me. This should be a lot more expensive. Again, just for fun, throw me a guess at what you think this watch costs. I'm just curious to what you guys think, and then we can go into that later. Astounding value for the money. This entire brand is just amazing.
And they also do watches in stainless steel, which I think is important to note.
Correct.
We're also familiar with German watch brands making very high-end movements, handcrafted, but you're only getting it in precious metals.
Correct.
And you can actually get it in steel, which helps with the price as well.
Helps immensely,
Makes it just a little more approachable for a lot of shoppers. GO, as I'm going to say the brand now to save everyone from the accent, has 5 different collections. So we're going to run through those really quick. The first is the Senator collection, which the brand says represents the absolute best in German watchmaking.
I think the entire Senator collection has the caliber 36, which is their chronometer certified. It really is. It exemplifies the best of what one of the best brands out there can do. So I really, really like that. It's that kind of top tier, and you can really see it from the movement side. It is just absolutely stunning.
Next up would be the Pano collection, which we've talked about quite a bit with the asymmetrical dial. Looks similar to maybe other German watch brands you've had before, but now you understand the collaborative history. And I think so far in store, talking to clients, this has been the fan favorite. Yeah,
I think so as well. I think it's what we as watch guys look and go, oh, German watch. I like that. It's incredibly well done, incredibly well finished, and it's one of those ones you can identify from 10 feet away. I like that.
It makes a really nice dress watch, but also available in stainless steel. So don't forget. Next up would be the diver collection, CQ,
Specialist.
Yes.
Which is, if you're looking for a high-end in-house manufactured diver, there's only a couple out there, and this thing is so good. Exhibition back, which is nice in a diver. You don't see it very often. The fit, the finish, the bracelet, the bezel, everything about it's perfect. If you're looking for a good diver, and I think too with the Grand Date ones, it's an up-end caliber as well. They even brought like a really, really nice caliber into your diver, where usually it's pretty pedestrian.
Like you said, the open case back is unique for a diver and fun. Next up would be the History collection, which is all inspired by watches from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, which is funny again with that gap of my knowledge with this brand. This to me was the Senator 70s. So it was part of the Senator collection, and very, very identifiable, especially if you're of a certain age. This just bleeds 70s cool. From the avocado green dial, I know you guys are going to kill me for that, but it's like my fridge was this color when it was coming up. Come on. The chronograph is really cool, incredibly thoughtful. You have a Grand Date, a Power Reserve. It is what I would call a bi-compact, so you have the 2 sub-dials, but right up in between them, you have this little open aperture that actually gives you your hours for the chronograph. Just really smart, really thoughtful, as you'd expect from a good German watch.
And looks very 60s and 70s, which is fun. And then finally, they have a ladies collection, which is very unique for the ladies collection. They don't just have a men's watch in a smaller size, but it's made very thoughtful, smaller case sizes, different metals. You can also get diamonds, and then fun different strap combinations too.
Yeah, I think that's something that's kind of missing from the industry. I think most watch companies just make a smaller version of the men's watch and slap some diamonds on it called the ladies piece. This is entirely designed for the female collector. And I think that's really important. It's one of the up and coming segments of the autorology industry. And if you're not designing for your ladies, you're missing the point.
We appreciate that. So George, is there a better watch out there for under 10,000?
Man, if there is, I can't think of it right now. We've been kind of going back and forth on this all morning, and I like other stuff out of Germany. Like Nomos makes great product at a lower price point, but it's obviously a lower price point watch. This, I can't discern a whole lot of difference between this and watch that costs 2 and 3 times as much. It's one of those situations where I don't go, why is this watch the price it is? I go, why is that watch the price it is? And that's especially for a guy like me, that really gets the wheels turning, no pun intended.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. It's going to be a busy comment section, I feel, but we're excited.
Yeah.
And make sure to follow along. We post videos like this about brands, what's going on in the watch market, what we get in store. You can also visit us in store. We have 2 locations in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we are also in Aspen, Colorado.